So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce my
I
guest.
hope I'm ready.
I trust you. Let me introduce my guest. Her name is Mrs. Sarah Ahibe, and she is a fantastic resource. You all need to go check out No Gray Areas with Sazzy on YouTube and Facebook also, right?
TikTok.
And TikTok also. She has loads and loads and loads of nuggets, of sessions, of responses to real life issues. You guys want to go check it out, all right? It will do you good. So I'm so delighted, I'm so honored, and I'm humbled to have you right here in this session with us today.
You.
And I'm hoping
Thank
that
you.
it's more and more and more and more as the Lord gives us strength and time. All right, so we're talking compatibility, and we want to focus today on emotional and intellectual compatibility. All right, so this is where I will just hand it over to you. I don't want to do any introduction, no, just if I feel like interrupting at some point, I may, but just go
Please
ahead.
don't interrupt anywhere you want to. Interrupt any question, anything, so we can actually rub minds together. So I was literally running from upstairs all the way down. I've been on TikTok live for hours.
Really?
Yes, I just left my life like 15 minutes ago or 10 minutes ago, running to come set up here. Running, that was the reason why I missed class today. Oh my God.
When we spoke, I could hear some sound on the background.
Oh yes.
So I actually thought it was class, but when I looked back on it, wasn't what was on the background. I thought, okay, you're not.
It was TikTok live. Oh my God. Wow. Yeah. So I'm actually trying to grow that platform.
Excellent.
Yeah, trying to grow that platform, and it's been crazy. Wow. It's TikTok is actually a world of. I'm sorry, I'm digressing, but just at least to calm my nerves. Yeah. I've been running just to calm my nerves. TikTok is actually a place where if I knew, I would have. I think I would have started harnessing that platform a long time ago. Yes, before.
I have one of my guys who's on my case to just get on TikTok and do this.
I think you should. Maybe we'll talk about it after this live. Maybe we'll talk about it after this live. Yes. Yeah. But I really think you should. I think you should. I'm going to give you the tips. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Coach Mayzy. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the privilege. When you reached out to me last week, I was like, ooh, what do I have to really say? So, but then I pray God gives us grace. And for those listening as well, I pray that whether they are listening now or they're going to come back later to watch this, because that's what I do with your lives. I go back, I get to engage in the lives, I get to watch as well. So I pray God gives us wisdom, understanding, and wherever anybody is struggling in their relationships, maybe their relationships or even their marriages, I pray that God will give them the healing that they desire, the healing they desire, and the intelligence they require, to walk around whatever they are going through at the moment. Truth is, we can't have life all figured out. That's the truth. We can't have life all figured out. And another thing is, for a lot of people, we dabbled into marriage sometimes without having certain foundations right, without understanding certain things. And if you now say that, oh, you know what, I think when I got married to you, I didn't have this knowledge, I didn't have this understanding, I didn't know XYZ, and because now I know, I think I have outgrown you. I just need to walk out and look for somebody that is in my pedigree. Do you get at the end of the day, it might not be the proper thing to do, but then as long as we give our hearts to learning, we have a teachable spirit. One thing I say especially on my TikTok platform is, I go there and I say, here we come to learn, we come to relearn, we come to unlearn. And That is, I've forgotten the name of this man. I'm trying to quote him. Is it Benjamin Franklin or so? I'm trying to remember his name. That said, the 21st century illiterate is a person that is not educated, but the one that cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So yes, we must ensure that regardless of what we are going through, if we keep our heart or put our minds to learning, definitely we will achieve it if we put our minds to it, and work together as a team. A relationship is not is not built by one person. We need to understand this because it takes two people to make it successful. It takes two people to also make it destructive or make it bad or make it terrible, break down. Do you get what I mean? So it takes two people to make it really work. So I can't hear you both anymore. Oh, really? Real convos. What's going on?
Let's see if any other person is also in similar situation. Even please, can we get some feedback? Can anyone hear us? Somebody just put in the comments, please. So we know if it's from her end or because I can hear you loud and clear.
I can hear you as well. So let's. Can somebody else put in the comments? Oh,
okay.
Sophia Dagogo said, I can hear you. Oh, okay. So, real convos, maybe you log out and come back again. Maybe that will help. I don't know.
That's right.
Legit Bees community just joined. Okay. Hi, Legit Bees. You're welcome. All right. So, as I was saying, I can hear you now. Oh, yeah, it was my network. Okay, good. Thank you. Yeah, so it takes two people to actually make a relationship, a marriage work. Hi, Legit Bees. Hi. So it takes two people to actually make marriage work, to make a relationship work. So, and if you are not intentional about these things, see, there's something I learned. Whatever you feed grows. Whatever you feed grows. And if you do not feed a thing, it's not going to grow. So if you feed your relationship, it's going to grow. Now, the question is, what are you feeding your relationship with? Do you get what I mean? Yeah. It's just like the food. It's just like normal food that we all eat, right? If you eat healthy, you get healthy outcome, right? Sure. But if you eat unhealthy, you also get unhealthy outcome. So it depends on what we are feeding in our relationships, in our marriages. So if you feed on the right things in your relationship, in your marriage, definitely it's going to grow. And not just feeding alone, as it were. You need to feed alongside with your partner. You need to feed alongside with your better half so that both of you are on the same page and then you are growing simultaneously. You are growing side by side so that whatever you are hearing, the other person is hearing it, and then both of you are working together for a better outcome. So yes, it's very important. Now let's go to the topic: emotional and intellectual compatibility in relationship. That is what we're talking about. Compatibility is very important because at the end of the day, those are like the deciding factors to know whether this is going to be a deal or no deal. Like we call it deal breakers, right? In our coaching sector, we call it deal breakers. So these things are very important that we figure them out and know. Now, I want to say this to anybody that is single out there watching this. Trust me, this is the right time for you, and you are hearing whatever you're hearing at the right time as well. Those of us that are married may not have the opportunity to want to ensure that our partners our partners have these things or no, because we're already married, so we don't have the privilege of just walking out and go to get another partner. It's not like a drop and shop thing, just like that, But then if you are single and you're watching this, you are more advantaged, to be very honest, because you are now informed, and then what you do with the information, it's now going to be the determining factor in your life at the end of the day. So yes, I had to, of course, during my research, I had to jot things down. So I'll be making reference to my notes here that I have. So I'm speaking the right things. Now we're going to start with emotional compatibility. This is the alignment of emotional needs. Emotional compatibility is, when we say alignment, trying to put things together, the coming together, the building up, the merging of our emotional needs, communication styles, and responses to situations between partners. So these things need to align. It needs to work hand in hand. Economics will call it pari passu. It needs to work hand in hand. So that is what emotional compatibility is all about. It is the alignment of our emotional needs, our communication style, and responses to situations between us partners. And then it also involves understanding, empathy, and support for each other's feelings and emotional well-being. We also need to be there to understand the other person's feelings. We need to be empaths when it comes to the other person, because it has to do with emotions, right?
Yeah.
We need to understand their feelings. We need to understand their emotional needs. We need to understand their emotional well-being, where they are at the moment. How do they feel? Their emotions, how to also validate their emotions, to validate how they feel, concerning any situation that they are going through at the moment. So it means it also entails, or it involves understanding your partner's emotional well-being. You need to understand their needs, their well-being. You need to support them, support each other's feelings. It's very important. And that is where validity comes into play. You're supporting them. Now, the truth is, you might not be supporting them because their feelings are all the time right, but you are actually trying to tell them that I can understand where you are coming from. I'm trying to see where you are coming from. And even if for some reason it is not connecting with you, you try to give them time to unburden, to you. You try to give them time to express how they feel, because if you do not give your partner grace, you don't give them that grace, that time for them to communicate how they feel to you. Truth is, you might just lose touch with where they are emotionally. And two people that profess love for each other they have to align emotion. There has to be that emotional connection. And that's the reason why, let me digress a bit. That's the reason why when they talk about a woman cheating, you see, men don't need emotions a lot of times. Largely, you can look at it, statistics has it. You can go find it out. Men do not really need to be emotionally connected to a woman to cheat with her. But all they just need to see sight and sound, and they don't pursue. Do you get what I mean? And even whatever they do, they will still tell you that I did what I did without any connection, nothing. Do you get what I mean? But for a woman, it runs deeper than that. And of course, I'm talking about a woman that is not into hookup culture. No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about a woman that is not into hookup culture. I'm talking about a woman that has her virtue, her moral standing right. Okay, so it takes emotions for a woman to actually really cheat on her partner, or let me say her husband. Now, you see, emotional cheating sometimes is even the worst kind, because that is where the connection is done. That is where the connection is done. That is where the connection, gets ignited. So that's the reason why emotional compatibility is one thing that we should not relegate to the background. I need to be emotionally connected to my partner so that I can freely flow. I can be vulnerable. I can be vulnerable where they are, where my partner is. I can be vulnerable. If I'm emotionally connected with my partner, I can be vulnerable. I can express myself the way I feel without fearing any form of judgment, without being afraid of, any form of judgment, or anyone casting any form of aspersion towards me. So that emotional compatibility is sacrosanct. Very important. Very important. Now, Let's go to intellectual compatibility. This one is, when you hear intellect, you know that it has to do more with the mind. Okay,
Yeah.
it has to do more with the brains. Okay, but you see, it's not necessarily. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. Oh, because I am a PhD holder, then the other person has to be a PhD holder.
I don't.
It's not. It's nothing like that. I'm
That's
sorry. I can be goofy sometimes. Please manage me.
yeah. What I said, just do it.
So it's honestly not just about that, but then there are other ways that we can connect intellectually and see if we truly jive and bond. Now, intellectual compatibility is also the alignment of now interests, our interests, what we like together, our curiosity, our mental stimulation between the two of us. Do you get what I mean? Now, so now you can see that it's not just about just for bookworms. It's not just about academia. We're not talking about intellectual or academia. No, that's not just the area we're talking about now. We're talking about aligning our interest, aligning our curiosity, aligning our mental stimulation. When I speak to this person, do I feel like my brain cells has been depleted to -1 degrees or, or -1%? I'm sorry, guys.
Oh no. Yeah, these things happen, man.
Do I feel like my intellectual capacity has been depleted, or I feel like, oh my God, somebody is trying to trigger something in me positively. Somebody is trying to challenge my mind. Somebody is trying to, that is what we're talking about, mental stimulation. Somebody is trying to stimulate my mind when I speak to this person. By the time we bounce off ideas on each other, there is something that happens. There is just something. I may not be able to place my finger on it, but then it's invaluable. It's something that you cannot even, you know that there's a connection intellectually between you and this person. You just know that when I speak to this person, I get the ideas I'm looking for. When I speak to this person, the business ideas begins to flow. When I speak to this person, I just know what I need to do for my job, for my presentation, for my project, for my, it begins to happen because somehow this person is saying something. The person may not necessarily be in the same field of expertise as you. But then the person will just know how to dot the I's and cross the T's when they communicate with you and they make your burden lighter. Now, also, it involves engaging in stimulating conversations. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, it could be, you see, these stimulating conversations may not even really, like I said, it doesn't necessarily, it's not tied to only academia. Conversations like nature, conversations like religion, conversations like politics, conversations like, business, current affairs. It could just be anything. It could even be about your hobbies. Do you understand? But there is this, that conversation is engaging. When you see the person almost has a fair knowledge about anything you talk about. They have a fair knowledge, not like they have a deep knowledge about what you're talking about, but they have a fair knowledge. They can actually say, "Ooh, I think I've heard this somewhere. I think I've seen this somewhere. Okay, you know what? Let me check it out." You just know that this person is almost on the same page with you. You share ideas and you respect each other's intellect. It's very important. In this intellectual compatibility, you also need to learn how to respect each other's intellect because, like I said from the beginning, both of you might not be on the same page academically. Do you get what I mean? But that doesn't mean that the person has a Pentium 1 brain. That doesn't mean that, but that doesn't mean that. Do you get what I mean? It doesn't mean that. Do you get what I mean? It doesn't mean that, honestly. You respect the other person's intellect, you respect what they are bringing to the table. Do you get it? They don't need to actually bring it the way you bring it, but you just know that, well, this person is solid, this person is well-rounded. So that is what we talk about when we talk about emotional compatibility and intellectual compatibility. So Coach Mayzy, I don't know if I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to present it the way I build. I'm just presenting it.
Oh, thank you. I tried to take down some points. So let me go over the points again. You know, one of the things you said at the beginning was how that compatibility, to a very large extent, is a major deal breaker. Maybe you want to explain why it is, because some people may wonder that. But you know, I shared these feelings with this person so strongly, and even if we don't seem to be compatible emotionally or intellectually, but I mean, this is just my dream. Why should I leave him or her for someone else, right? So explain that point on why it's such a deal breaker, and perhaps how it could be, what the cons are if you're getting married to someone with whom you're not compatible.
Okay.
How it could affect it. Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking about emotional compatibility, and you know, emotions, it has to do with the heart, the feelings. Do you get what I mean? So if you are not emotionally connected to this person, your feelings are not invested in this person. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So because before you say that, yes, there is actually a thin line between emotional compatibility and actually being in love with a person, but it starts from being emotionally compatible before it grows to actually falling in love.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So imagine that you do not have any form of emotional ties with this person. How then do you now want it to grow to you falling in love? But I like using standing in love, basically. But then let's use the generic term, okay?
Yeah,
the one that's normal, okay? Now, so how then do you want to say, okay, I am head over heels in love with this person, when you do not have any form of emotional attachment to this person?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that person is just going to be any other random person out there, any other platonic friend. Do you get out there?
Yeah.
So there has to be that tie. It could literally be a deal breaker. You know why? Somebody has to really touch your heart. Somebody has to break through that heart for you to know, because the Bible says, I'm a Christian. Coach Mayzy is a Christian, so we sometimes we make reference to the scripture. The Bible says that love bears all things, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you love a person, that is your emotional ties. If you love a person and that person somehow steps on you the wrong way, you will kind of find it a bit easy sometimes to let go, because you love the person.
True.
Because you love the person. All right. So it's when you have that in you, it will be easy for you to forgive, it will be easy for you to let go, it will be easy for you not to want to constantly recall the past, you know, to that person, because there is that connection right there. Now, the intellectual part of it, the intellectual part of it, to be very honest with you, I am going to say, if you ask me, I'm going to say that it is important that you're actually connected emotionally first before you even if you're not intellectually connected, I feel like it is something that we can work on, that we can build on, if the other party that is not at that intellectual pedestal as you can grow up to. But you see, emotions, the emotional compatibility is hard, because at the end of the day, you might end up having what we call pity love for this person. Do you understand? You might end up having what they call pity love for this person if your heart, your emotions is not in it for the right reasons. So for the intellectual part, the reason why it is important for you to be intellectually compatible is because at some point, Pastor Mayzy and I can tell you for those that are single, see, at some point, marriage, they boring.
Oh yeah.
Don't tell my husband that I said that. Please. At some point, you feel a bit bored. Okay?
True.
Let's not even fake it. I don't know how to fake things. I just like to present things the way they are. Now, you see, but because both of you are on the same, when it comes to that intellectual wavelength, both of you can jive, you can flow, you can have conversations. Those intellectual conversations can build up the spark. It can build a conversation that both of you can have. For instance, if both of you probably want to talk about a particular country, for instance, you want to talk about a particular country, their economy, you initially felt a bit bored, but because of that, can you hear me? It's like your network is a bit slow. Can you hear me?
Someone's trying to call me, but I've rejected the call. Yeah, I hope it doesn't.
Okay. Yeah. So why both of you are having this conversation, that boredom will begin to fizzle out gradually because you're engaging. Both of you are engaging each other intellectually. You constantly have things to talk about. Let me tell you, there are some marriages that they don't know what to talk about. They don't have any conversation. You don't come back, you want job, okay, I don't go sleep. Oh, you go do this night, you don't go do. There is absolutely there is almost nothing to talk about. And that's the reason why those people, you see them engaging more with other people, other friends, either female friends or male friends, because those ones can engage them intellectually. So for both of you, there is nothing to talk about because you're not on the people are laughing. You're not on the same wavelength with that person. So that's the reason why intellectual compatibility is very good. So that people will always have something to talk about. And then your spouse can literally call you up and say, what there was a particular video I watched, a YouTube video, Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo and a wife, Pastor Mildred. He was talking about his wife, how Pastor Mildred is such an intelligent woman that she knows, she has a fair knowledge about almost everything. That she has a fair knowledge. See, when a man go outside, they brag about a wife. They talk, say, listen, beauty without brains equals to a bimbo. So it's not like beauty minus brain, na bimbo. Do you understand? You become a bimbo in that. But imagine a man going out to brag about his wife and saying that my wife knows, she has a fair knowledge about almost anything and everything. That's the high quality woman there. Do you understand? That's a quality woman right there. So he's boasting. Do you know how the pride of a man when he goes out and he's talking about his wife, says, see, my wife has knowledge of her. Hey, when you see men when they brag about their wife, it adds extra. In military, when you're in military, it adds extra. It gives them this. You get what I mean?
Someone's trying to call me again.
So that is how it is. You just want your partner to be proud of who you are, but there are some people that will say, this woman, I know if you discuss this kind of thing. This information is too much for her mind. Her mind cannot handle this information. It's too much. It's capacity overload. Really, really. Are you joking? This kind of information I cannot discuss it with her because she won't understand, because her level of understanding no reach. Reach. How you go take reach? You get so that's why it's important.
how did both of them get together in the first place? If right now you're saying you can't discuss certain things with her because it's way over her head, there's some questions that were coming in I just want us to touch them very quickly. Abiodun asked, first, he was asking what emotional attachment means to elementary people like us. Abiodun, I'll cast you. You're not elementary. That's a key guy.
In fact, for the person to say to elementary people like us, you gave yourself.
But anyway, I get what you're trying to say. We should break it down some more. I just thought to put in, okay, yeah, he said later that emotional connection, yeah. So I just thought to also contribute something there, and then maybe you can also speak to it. So you see, it's very important that people are able to be vulnerable in a relationship, right? And it takes a level of trust and security that you know that this person is able to handle my emotions, is able to handle my need, is able to handle my information, right? So that connection we speak about is where you know that you feel safe with this person to be able to allow yourself to be vulnerable, to be able to share about the things in your life, to be able to share about the challenges you're going through, share your joys with this person, and they return the same energy to you, right? So that is what we mean when we're talking about the emotional connection. That sensitivity to each other's emotional needs and emotional concerns, if I should put it like that, such that you understand each other. There are people who when certain issues are happening in their lives, they are not thinking of their partners to talk to. They're calling someone else because the emotional need that they have at that point, it is that other person they know that will resonate with it. And what we are saying is that in a relationship, it is actually is wrong, because you want to have a partner with whom you could connect deeply. You want to have a partner with whom, when anything is happening in your life, they are the first person you want to call. They are the first person. You're not thinking, oh, should I? No. You just want to pick up the phone and call them and say, see what's going on. Moments of joy, happiness, laughter, confusion, anger, hurt. They are the first persons that come to mind that you want to call. So I just thought to mention that maybe you could also add to it perhaps before we take this other question. Yeah.
Yeah, you see that when you you see that vulnerability is something that the world cannot share with you.
True.
In fact, I'm going to rephrase it. Is something that the world should not share with you. True. Okay. That emotional part of you is something that one special person should be able. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot be vulnerable to your siblings, to your parents. They are all. There are two different things. Family, and because whatever we're talking about here is we're talking about romantic relationships here. Okay. Yeah. So there are two different things. Now, for you to be vulnerable to a person, it means that the person has built a safe nest. A safe nest over the period of time that both of you have come to know yourselves. A no judgment zone.
Ooh, very key.
A no judgment zone where they can be exactly who they are without the glitz and the glam, without the plastic paper smile that we give out there.
One regard.
Exactly. Without all those things, this is the person that knows your core, that understands you, that sees you in the weakest of states, and they still will not judge you, and they still will not take advantage of you. Because judgment is one thing, taking advantage of your vulnerability is another thing. So that's the reason why that emotional compatibility is very important. Think about it. Just think about and ask yourself, who is this person that I am so open and I'm talking to the singles here, okay? The reason why I'm not directing this so much to the married people is because they're already married. So I cannot start telling you to think about another person that you except you're thinking about Jesus.
Oh my.
Except the person you're thinking about is Jesus. If it is Jesus, then you can go ahead and think about him. Okay? But so that's the reason why I'm making reference to singles here. And of course, with all amount of humility, without any form of disrespect. All right. So you need to think about that person who makes me feel what makes me feel myself, how when I feel my real self when I'm with this person, and this person will not take advantage of me, this person will not judge me, and we can walk through the process seamlessly like nothing happened.
Wow, that's so true. That's so true. Thank you for expanding that conversation, or that explanation rather. There's a point I also wanted to chip in there, where the person is not taking advantage of you, is not judging you, and rather is invested in helping you become better, helping you go through that stage, helping you just be a better person, genuinely cares for you, genuinely values you, is looking out for your best at all times, right? Yeah, so still expanding on what we mean by emotional connection. Abiodun, I hope you're still there, and I hope you've got some clarity to what we were saying. There was a second question he asked, and I want to speak to that too. He said, what if there is more to being able to speak with each other beyond intellectual capacity? Just before we speak to that, I remember a video I saw online recently. A group of friends, guys and girls, were gisting. Somehow the conversation they were asking about traveling abroad. And then they asked one of them, what country would you like to travel to? And then at some point, one of them said she wanted to go to the US. Okay, and it was cool. Yeah, US. Okay, where exactly would you want to visit in the US? And then she said, I like to visit Paris. I like to visit Aberdeen. I like to visit maybe just called different countries. And all of them went, oh, okay. Nobody could say. Yeah, she said I want to visit, Toronto. Just call it different. I mean, these guys were clearly embarrassed, and they're just like, okay. When I saw
that can literally kill any love connection that a person has invested. They will like, this is it.
To run away like this.
This is it. This is the height. This is the height of. This is the height. You understand? So you can imagine something as little as this. It can actually destroy something that would have been a good connection, a good relationship, but something as trivial as this. There are some people that have grace. To be honest, there are some people that have grace to walk you through the process. But I tell you, these present day men, some of them would have been able to walk you through the process if that epic embarrassment not happen in the presence of their friends. Do you understand? Because if you find a way to heal from that bomb blast, a lot of people, their friends may not heal.
It will stay for a very long time. And you become an object of ridicule. Even if they don't always bring it out to your husband's face, but anytime they remember it, they're going to laugh at you.
Your friends might need therapy to actually really heal.
So just imagine that you are now married to this person, or you're considering getting married to this person. And you cannot even have basic conversations. Because by the time you bring it up, you hear another bombshell, and you're like, man. And you see, I think what people don't really understand yet about relationships is that, or marriage, is that what happens the most in marriage is conversation. Is talk. Oh, yes. So if you cannot have things to talk about, what will sustain the conversation is that you people are on the same wavelength.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what will sustain it. If not, it will just end with, okay, thank you.
Fine.
Stop.
Fine. That's
Yes.
fine.
No. All right. No, you understand? But it's because you guys can think and process at the same frequency. You can even understand and interpret sarcasm when you find it.
Exactly.
You can laugh to each other's jokes, and somebody's not feeling like, oh, why are you talking to me like that? If you want to insult me, just call my name. You know? Because you understand where it's a joke. You understand where this is not a jab at you. You understand where, it's an idiomatic expression. You understand all of those things. That is what sustains the conversation. So yes, it's very key. I don't even know how to, I almost debated from this question, like if there's more to being able to speak with each other beyond intellectual compatibility. So this is what I'm explaining here. That, and like you said earlier, we're not saying that you need to be maybe at the same educational level part-time, master's degree holder, also a master's degree holder. We're not saying you have to be in the same field or in the same discipline. All we are saying is that when we talk, let us understand and relate with what we are saying.
And that is communication.
Yeah. So let me say this now. Just imagine, maybe you're a medical doctor, your husband is an engineer. You guys should be able to discuss, even though you're in different fields. When he's talking about what's happening in his space, you're able to contribute. You're able to ask intelligent questions.
Exactly.
Right? Do you understand? Not when they say, I just remembered the one now. Somebody says I've traveled to different countries. They say, that means you must be very vast with geography. You say, yes, I've been there too. It's a beautiful place. That's an old joke, right? So you need to know how to ask intelligent questions, make intelligent contributions. If not, both of you will get tired of each other in a hurry.
Yeah. You start looking for closure with other people, and that is where you begin to drift apart.
Yes.
That's where you begin to drift apart. If I understood this question clearly, Abiodun said, what if there is more to being able to speak with each other beyond intellectual compatibility? See, I agree with you, Biodun, as a matter of fact. There could be more that both of you can speak beyond intellectual compatibility. What we are talking about is what happens in the long run.
Oh, yeah.
Because right now, Biodu, if you're single, if whoever is listening to this is single, trust me, you are in the butterfly mushy feeling stage where intellectual compatibility might not mean much right now.
Yeah.
So the part where you're looking at, I'm assuming that Biodu is a man. The part where you're looking at is probably her physical attributes. Okay, you're looking at the way she strouts herself when she walks like a classy lady. You're looking at the way the way she smells when she's around you. She smells really good. Maybe she speaks good English, but I hope that we should know by now that a person communicates in English does not translate to intelligence. It's not speaking English. Speaking English does not equal intelligence. Do you understand? So maybe you're at that stage where the physical attraction is what you have going for you. All right, you really don't. Other things don't count. And I tell you, let me put it out there. Let's not act like it doesn't exist. A lot of times, a lot of singles are more invested in sexual compatibility as against other forms of compatibility. That is supposed to be major, but they are majoring on the minor. And when I say majoring on the minor, I'm not saying that sexual compatibility is not important, right? But at this stage, beyond sexual, because we're Christians, we should not be talking about sexual compatibility for those of us that are Christians that do not believe. Because truth is, some Christians actually believe in, I bet, test what you they buy first.
Yeah, I've
Yes, to be very honest with you, I have heard some believers say those things. That see, let's not spirit. They'll tell you that marriage is a carnal thing. Marriage is not a spiritual thing. So I need to, test what you they buy. It's unfortunate because if you go to ShopRite, you can't test the things you buy. If you go to ShopRite, you cannot tell them, carry and go house, go test them. Do you get what I mean? So it is, and then you are now testing human beings. You can't even test objects, and you're testing human beings. And that is where your confusion begins to even heighten.
I agree.
Because you have been testing too many things. And then you are getting confused.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So that sexual compatibility, I'm sorry I'm digressing, but I just need to hit somewhere. That sexual compatibility, see, it will eventually happen because, Pastor Mayzy, there are people that get married as virgins.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And they are good. They are good. There are certain jobs you get that you will grow and learn on the job.
Oh, yeah.
That is how that sexual part is. Both of you will learn. Because your body is like a plain canvas, okay? It's your body is a plain canvas. Both of you, because you are in that space, a safe space where you have now you are trying to consummate the marriage itself. You walk through your body like you know it even in the dark, because Scripture says that, and the man and the woman, that they were both naked and they were not ashamed. Now, nakedness is not just naked in its literal form here. There are other meanings that we can give to it. However, let us use the literal form. Both of you will be naked and you will not be ashamed, because you will walk through your body and understand what works for you sexually. You will understand it, what works for you, and you begin to apply those things and explore a lot of things within marriage. Do you get what I mean? So except the person was not born with a female genitalia or a male genitalia. Now, dear, where I'll tell you, say, now no meant, because you were deceived into marriage. When say, I am trying hard. I'm a very spiritual woman. I don't to appear very carnal. Okay, so
say what you gotta
don't to come across as carnal. So it's at that point where we can now say, okay, this was done in deception. It can be annulled because it's a good reason, it's a good ground. Do you understand? But beyond that, everything else can actually be walked through. You can walk through the process. So that's the reason why we're talking about the emotional compatibility and intellectual compatibility. There are so many others. There's financial compatibility. Okay, there are so many other areas as well. But you see all these things. Let's take out that sexual part first. It's important, but take it out, because, my dear brothers and sisters, news flash. You see this thing they call knacking. You know, but they knack every day, morning, day. It's not like a balanced diet or a menu. It's not a weekly menu. There are times that the real life challenge will hit you in marriage that you will not remember. Say there is anything called sexual compatibility. You will not remember it because life has hit you thither and hither. You will not remember. You are looking for how to get out of that mess. Sexual compatibility may they enter your head, not because it is not important. Please, I am still saying it. It is very important. But there are times in marriage that, you will not remember. Some people can go as long as a month 2 weeks. Do you get? And nothing has happened. And that does not mean that there's no love in their marriage. It's just because life is lifing at that point. Yes, it's just because life is just lifing at that point. Do you get? So what keeps both of you going when life starts lifing?
True. Exactly.
What keeps the two of you going when life comes, when life happens? It is the intellectual compatibility. It is the emotional compatibility that you know that even if we do not do anything sexual, but emotionally our hearts are in tune with each other.
Right. That's right.
That is where this becomes very important. You might not see it as a major now, but in the long run, you will see it as a major. Have you not asked yourself, let us take time, let's just back up a bit. Have you asked yourself, what do couples who stay in marriage for 70 years still do in marriage?
Excellent.
70 years in marriage, 50 years in marriage. Because whether you like it or not, let's call a spade a spade. The libido don't they drop massively.
Oh yeah, it will drop.
Do you get what I mean? I have heard and I know of situations where there are some, especially for the male gender, where because of maybe prostate issues and lots of issues, the man and the woman have not had any sexual relations for years because they are treating something, and you never hear this woman complain or anything. Yes, something might be happening to her from the inside, that part is she's starving in that area, but then there is something you can still see that she's still holding her husband's hands. They're still working through the process. There is something that is keeping them together beyond that sexual part.
So true.
Do you get? What about in the case of unforeseen circumstances like accidents, ailments, something?
Exactly.
Where the person is not there. What about in the case of relocation? Your spouse got a beautiful job and they had to relocate to another client. And maybe for the time being, that distance has to be there. What do both of you do? It is emotional connection, intellectual connection, and other kind of compatibility that will keep that relationship going. It will help to grease it. So when we are talking about these things, I know that some of us are looking at the present. I get person. I have a great spark with the person right now, brother, my sister.
Yeah.
Sometimes spark they quench you. Sometimes I go light, like nothing. Spark no day. Spark no day. Do you get? So that's the reason why we are talking about this. It's for the long run in the relationship. It's very important.
That's so spot on, because many people marry for now. I tell people again and again, no, you're marrying for your future. That's where you're spending the rest of your life. It's not how I feel now. It's not how we look good now. No. It's can we sustain this in the long run? Can I see this person do? If I one question I ask ladies when they are telling me, okay, I'm in love with this guy, he wants to marry me, I tell them, can you close your eyes and trust that you're safe with him and he's leading you to a place better than you have imagined for yourself?
Exactly.
Can you just trust his leadership like that? That yes, I know his intentions and his actions towards me are for good. If you can't see that in the long term, forget with the feelings you're having now. Like you said, those spark, you can off. You understand? He can off. Let me quickly speak to one more thing before we close. It's already almost our time. Abiodun also said, so what's the place of maturity, intentionality, and acceptance in the place of achievement and sustenance of a happy, long-lasting relationship? And then went further to say that compatibility as used by us seem to be a natural fitting. Can compatibility only be natural, or can it be built? Maybe with maturity, intentionality, and acceptance. I take this that this fits to the earlier question, and somehow this is just an intelligent contribution, not really a question, because what he has done here, what she has done actually, is to highlight the fact that yes, with maturity and intentionality and acceptance, this thing can be built. So sometimes it is a natural fitting. Sometimes it's just you don't need to do any work there. But there are other times where certain other fundamental areas are in place and then it's just left for one party to grow, or for both of you to grow together to the point where you can now, be at the same level of, as it were, reasoning and connection, like we have explained earlier. So yes, sometimes it comes naturally, but there are times where, so for example, there are cases where one partner may not be as smart, but is teachable and is humble and is open to learning. And then the emotional connection is there. The intellectual one may look like it is never gauge. Do you understand? But this person is teachable and starts applying themselves. Start going through the drill, and then their partner is supportive, is intentional, like you said, accepts them like that, is mature enough to know how to correct them without demeaning them and making them feel less of themselves, and before you know it, these same people in the next couple of years are doing so well. You won't even remember. I know people who, one person is a graduate, the other is not even yet in school, but somehow they got married along the line, enrolled the other one in school, even as an adult, and then before you know it, that one graduates and even goes for masters, and before you know it, when you see these people talking, you can't even tell that as when they got married, one wasn't in school yet. So yes, it can be grown, it can be built, all right, in the event where it's not the natural fit from the get-go, all right, but it has to be intentional, like you said. There has to be acceptance. There has to be that maturity. Okay, I just thought to say that. Do you want to add to that?
Yeah. You see, I love the part where she said, maybe, I love that caveat there. Maybe with maturity, intentionality, and acceptance.
Yeah.
Now, you see that maturity part, Abiodun, there is 50-50. See, let me tell you, there are some people that they speak well, they are mature, but there are certain things that their heart cannot even handle anymore. Okay? Mm-hmm. Now that is, you see, Coach Mayzy, when I was talking initially, I said the emotional compatibility has to be there. Look for it.
Yeah.
Look for it.
Yeah.
Because if I want to place them and I want to weigh them in a balance, this is for me, Sazzy. Mm-hmm. I will place emotional compatibility over intellectual compatibility. Do you know why? Sure. Because the truth is, the heart is a very delicate thing. Our emotion is very. Do you know there are some people you love for no reason. You can't, if you try to place a finger on it and you can't. You just love this person, and there are some people that. I was talking on a live today, and one of the guests of my box, he said, I have never met Donald Trump before, but I don't like him. Do you get? That is, you don't know them, you've never met them, they smile, you are upset, they do something good, you just don't like them. So you see that emotional compatibility has to be there for that your partner first. Mm-hmm. Intellectual compatibility, yes, with intentionality now. And acceptance. Acceptance, the part where this person is teachable, this person is willing to say, yes, I never reach that level, but I'm willing to work the work. Okay. With intentionality is, yes, putting your words to action. You're being intentional. Okay, I think I need to go learn this. I think I need to go bag a degree. I think I need to learn these basic skills. Do you get what I mean? I can't speak proper English. Maybe I should learn how to. Maybe I should get a teacher for my spouse, for my partner. I love this person and I'm willing to walk through the process. That is intentionality. And before you know it, they begin to build capacity intellectually. They begin to build capacity. But sometimes with the emotional part, if you're not connected to a person, sometimes it is hard. And when you force it, it becomes worse. Because it's like, it becomes, sometimes the pendulum does not swing towards their direction. It swings this way and it doesn't swing that way. So today you are emotionally connected. Tomorrow, if you find the emotion again, it becomes hard to really love this person. True. That's what I think. True. Somebody else might share a different opinion, but that's honestly what I think.
Yeah, this is very fundamental. It is what it is. let me not even get further into it. Thank you so much, Coach Sazzy. This has been
Mm.
fantastic.
Mm.
Some people are just joining. They've missed the whole juice,
They
right? If you're just
have
joining,
actually.
please, yeah,
But
please
I
go
wanted to
ahead.
say something. I wanted to add a bit to it. I don't know
Okay,
what's by time now.
okay.
Let's I don't
You
know.
can just round. You can round it up with
Yes,
that
I just
point.
wanted to, because there are some things I wrote. I wanted to talk about, cultivating emotional compatibility.
Oh,
If it's not there and you really like this person, there are things that you can look for a way to cultivate. It might just help. All right.
very good
It
point.
might
Yeah.
help. So to cultivate emotional compatibility and also to cultivate intellectual compatibility, I'll just put out those points out there. For cultivating emotional compatibility, practice active listening. Maybe when you are constantly talking to this person, communicating with this person, listening to this person, that spark, you start getting that connection that you truly want. So practice active listening. It will help with it will help to cultivate emotional compatibility. Another thing is validate feelings. Validate the person's feelings. Learn how to validate feelings. Another one is foster trust. Begin to build that trust that you need. Another one is prioritize quality time. You see, when you do not have emotional compatibility, when you feel like, okay, this emotional compatibility is not there, but I tell you, the moment you start spending quality time with that person, you start building that emotional connect, because you're always with this person. Every bank holiday, you want to be with this person. You are looking for where to hang out, how to spend your weekend, how to spend your day. What do you do? Can we go see a movie? You're being deliberate. That's where intentionality comes into play. You're being intentional. So you spend quality time. It helps to cultivate, to build that emotional connect. It's bonding time. Very important. Another thing, embrace vulnerability. Learn how to be open to this person. Talk to the cry. Let them hug you. Let them hold you. Let them soothe you. Let them just make you feel at home, feel comfortable. It's a good thing. Practice appreciation. Another one is exercise empathy. So these things can help you cultivate emotional compatibility. Then for the other one, for intellectual compatibility, we can just put this: share your passions, interests, your hobbies, your thoughts, your knowledge, your ideas. That's for intellectual compatibility, how to cultivate it. Learn how to share your ideas, share your interests, share your thoughts, share your knowledge, your ideas. Both of you bounce ideas off of each other. Do you understand? That is how to build intellectual compatibility. You can do that. Another thing you can do is you can stimulate your mind by engaging in intellectual activities, maybe like going for a symposium, maybe going for one talk show. Do you get what I mean? You can stimulate your mind by attending some workshop, some intellectual workshop, something both of you are doing together. You are actually helping yourself to stimulate yourselves intellectually. Another thing you can do is embrace differences in perspective. Yes, please. Like I said, I talked about respecting the other person's intellect. Now, embrace differences in perspectives, areas of expertise. Embrace your differences. Just know that both of us cannot talk alike, cannot be the same, cannot see through the same lens, cannot judge things the same way, but
Yeah.
then embrace the person's difference. Because at the end of the day, they say variety is the spice of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
So embrace each other's differences and appreciate it. Be open to learning from each other. Be open to learning. Like Coach Mayzy talked about one person being a medical doctor, the other person being an engineer. This person is telling you something about medicine. You don't know medicine. You've never done anything regarding medicine, but you're open to learning. Your mind is open. You want to learn. You want to understand at least the basic things around the person's field of professionalism. So it's a good thing. Another thing you can do is regularly seek each other's feedback. Regularly seek feedback. It's important. How far, where are we at this point? What have you achieved? What have you done? Oh, I remember you said you were going to do this. Have you done it? Where are we at this point? What do you want me to do? How do you want me to support you? Do you get what I mean? It's important. And then the last one I wrote is engage in healthy debate on things, religion, politics, different things. That is another way to cultivate. Now we're talking about cultivating it. Maybe you see a very fantastic person and these things we're talking about, the emotional compatibility or maybe the intellectual compatibility is not really solid, but you really like the person, these are the things you can do to cultivate it. It can work. It can work. And that is where Abiodun is coming from. Yes.
Thank you so much. This was just a situation where it was like you saved the best for last, because, having said all that and explaining what it is, it's important that people now see practical things that they can do, in their relationships to cultivate, as it were, emotional and intellectual compatibility. So this was so spot on. Thank you so much, Coach Sazzy. This is massive. There's a question there. I don't even know if we should still take it or you.
I'm open. If you're ready, I'm open.
Okay, let's see if we can touch it quickly. That can you have emotional compatibility with someone with whom you're not physically attracted? Or you're not physically attracted to?
Yeah, you can actually, but then, you see, the eye has to eat before the mouth chop.
Oh my. Oh my. Yeah.
Pastor Mayzy, I'm sorry. It's like I'm the guest that is making people laugh so much. I don't know what. I am a very practical person.
True.
I'm a very practical person. And whenever I have conversations, I narrow it down, probably because I'm a teacher by profession. Wow. Do you get what I mean? So that also helps me to break it down, so anybody can understand, break it down to the layman's understanding. See, it is possible. Like I said, I started by saying, yes, can you have emotional compatibility with someone you are not physically attracted to? Yes. You actually can. Yes, you can. And that's the reason why you can have emotional compatibility with maybe a work colleague, maybe a friend, maybe, but you're not physically attracted to them. Yes, but you see, in marriage, I tell you what, you got to see, listen, you want to open your eye to the next person, and you know that
I like
do you get so that physical attraction, let it try. See, at least let it be hanging on 50%, and then let's see how we can push it up. Do you understand? But when you are not physically attracted to a person at all, it's a major issue. Maybe both of you have to work it out, sit down, discuss, be sincere. I love the fact that people are in tune with their emotions, what they feel, what they like, what they don't like. Because trust, let me tell you, taking a realistic view about yourself is the beginning of gaining solution, or getting the solution to that problem.
True.
Taking a realistic view about yourself. So if you are not physically attracted to this person, start looking for how to have a conversation. Is there something that they probably have, but they are not harnessing it well? Or is it something that can be fixed? When I'm talking about being fixed, I'm not talking about if the person is not naturally endowed from the waistline down. We may not be able to solve it, except you have money for BBL, which I'm not sure you want to do. Do you get? So, do you get what I mean? If those are if there are things that you cannot change, then you need to be truthful to yourself and ask yourself that, can I really handle this? Can I deal with this? It's important. Can I deal with it? There are some people that love voluptuous women. They are endowed from waist down. They are endowed from the chest area. Do you get what I mean? They love voluptuous women. You know that is the kind of person you're attracted to. And then you're seeing this slender, beautiful lady, and you're saying, okay, maybe because intellectually she has it, maybe you people connect emotionally, but have the physical part, nothing. Brother, just sit back. and still maybe go for therapy, talk to somebody and tell them, yes, go talk to somebody and tell them that this is my concern and hear what they have to say. If it can be worked out, but don't relegate it to the background because it might just later come up as a big deal for you. Don't relegate it to the background. Do you get what I mean? If you have somebody that maybe a light-skinned man, you don't like the fact that let me tell you this, maybe we're going to end with this. When I met, I can in a way connect to this question. When I met my husband is from a family where they are all big and tall. Do you understand? Coach Mayzy, you know my husband. So they are from where they are big and tall. And me, I'm not so big, I'm not so small, I'm just there. Okay, I'm just there. I'm just there, but in a worrying way. I worry about just there. Do you get both? So when I met my husband, do you know that I had this concern because I felt like my husband was too tall for me. Do you understand? Yes. I felt like my husband was too tall for me. I felt like his physique, oh my God, this guy is too big for me. That was what I felt. And that time, if I had something where I feel give and say, just drink this one for morning, drink this one for afternoon, this one for night, take this dose so that your height will come down, your body breathes. Maybe I would have done it. But you see, I opened up to like 2 or 3 friends. But everything else was just tick, check. Husband a fine man, he didn't try. You get it? He didn't try. But then, you see, that's his height. And when I spoke to them, almost all 3 that I spoke to, they looked at me like, are you normal? Are you okay? You get waiting the output. You get it? One of them literally said these words. I think one of my work colleagues then. She said, I want to have a man like him, like also that can carry me like a teddy bear. Oh my God, I won't forget that. I want to have a man when I'm in his arm, I'm like a teddy bear. Oh, wow. Do you understand? So yes, he really said that. I'm telling you. So when she said that, then my other friends were like, what are you saying? Your husband, when you see your husband, even if he no get money, but he just come out naturally, his presence could just like say, this guy is boxed. You know, what are you saying? You know, there's some presence that we command respect. If you no get money, you just command respect. So they started giving me points. They were helping me. I need help. I need help. Help a sister.
Let me just say, okay, finish. Sorry.
I started seeing through their eyes. At that point, I started asking myself, are you all right? How come you were not seeing these things that these people were seeing? And that truly helped me. So that's the reason why I'm saying, maybe talk to somebody. They might make you see things that you are not seeing. That will help. Yeah.
Exactly. And you know, in talking to people, it's important you're speaking to the right people. Yeah. That's why I was glad when you said see a therapist, right? Because one of the things we would even do is help you to interrogate that thing that you call your physical spec. You know, interrogate it, and many times, you know, that image you have in your head might not be what you really want. It may have been suggested or imposed on you from time through the media, through the kind of novels you've read, through what you have seen. You know, it just catches your fancy, right? And you think this is what I want. But deep down, it might not really be that that's what you want. Maybe from listening to someone and getting proper guidance, you might now be able to find that this other person that I said I know they trip for before, actually, I should start tripping. You know, that's everything that I've been looking for, and more. You know, so yes, many times I always tell people when that physical part looks like it's not there, many times I want to engage with you. I want to ask you some questions. I want to even help you, you know, interrogate that your physical spec, because at the end of the day, you might just find out that that was not your real spec. You just thought it was your spec. Just didn't even know what your real spec was.
Exactly.
You know,
That's very correct.
Yeah.
That's
So
very correct.
I mean, let me end there for now. So do you want to any parting words or any last nuggets?
Well, just please, I'll still go back to what I said. Please take a realistic view about yourself, before you drag anybody into a situation. Please, marriage is hard work. Marriage is hard work, but then marriage is a beautiful thing. Marriage is something that can be a happy place, it can be a sad place.
True.
It depends on what you want to make out of it. But please take a realistic view about yourself. Please don't see through my eyes when you want to do marriage. Don't see through Coach Mayzy's eyes when you want to do marriage. See through your eyes. Ask for help and be true to yourself. Don't drag another person's son into your mess. Don't drag another person's daughter into your mess. Be very sure that this is what you want for yourself. And hey, marriage is not all fun and games. Marriage is not going to make you always happy. As a matter of fact, marriage is an amplifier. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but that is what it is. If you are somebody that has mood swings, marriage will help you increase the mood swings. If a person that is dealing with low self-esteem, it might help you increase it. It might also help you reduce it. But one thing you need to understand is marriage can actually stretch you. All right. So please, and I'm not saying this for you to be afraid. Remember, I started by saying marriage is hard work, but it is a beautiful thing. Now, I'm going to also say this line. Growing up as a young girl, I was going for these extramural classes, and one of my teachers then reminded us something when sometimes you felt like giving up. That stuck with me and it's still here. And I know it's going to remain with me for the rest of my life. And that thing he said, he talked about Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was a one-time American president years ago. He talked about a letter that Abraham Lincoln wrote to the son's teacher before he passed. And one of the things he said in that letter, anybody can Google it. If you can hear me, you can go. It's there. It's there, on Google. Just type the letter, Abraham Lincoln's letter to the son's teacher. You will see everything Abraham Lincoln wrote. But there is one catch line that my teacher said to us then. He said that one thing that the Abraham Lincoln said to the son's teacher was, teach him well, but do not coddle him. For only the taste of fire makes fine steel. So I'm trying to liken marriage to that. The only time you can see all these beautiful jewelries that we wear, whether the fake, the near original, it has gone through some level of fire. For it to come out to be that diamond that you love, that ring that we are wearing. Oh, I want to have a diamond. My fiance engaged me with a diamond ring. Listen, that diamond ring went through a hard process, and that was fire. Now, only the taste of fire makes fine steel. That means that you sometimes you have to go through. Sometimes you have to go through the fire to become a fine steel. That is what marriage is sometimes. So please don't go with the whole fairy tale mindset. It's not always fairy tale, but marriage is beautiful. Marriage is possible. Marriage is doable. But it takes two intentional people to make it work.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has been really fired up. Thank you so much. So guys, please don't forget to go check out No Gray Areas with Sazzy on YouTube, on Facebook, and on TikTok. I think TikTok is NGA with Sazzy.
Yes, or even No Gray Areas with Sazzy. You just type it on TikTok, you see me there.
All right. So please, guys, do well to follow her on all those platforms and share in all of the value that she's been putting out already. All right. Thank you so much for being our guest today. God bless you.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you. And all the best. My love to the family. And God bless you.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
having me. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right,
Good
guys. So
night.
this is what it's about. It's been a powerful time. Please do well to watch this video again. Watch the replay. It's going to be here on my handle. It's also going to be on my YouTube page at Coach Mayzy. All right. So please do well to watch it and share also. God bless you guys. Have a wonderful rest of
All
the
right.
day wherever
Bye.
you are. Bye.